Well folks, it's our last day on the road, unfortunately. This is a gloomy old morning as we are leaving Foxton. Yeah, we got away from the camp just about on 6 this morning, so that's all good. Yeah, so now we've got about an hour and 40 ride through to the Inter-Islander Ferry terminal in Wellington. Jump on the ferry, 3.5 hour trip across to Picton, and then we'll be on the homeward stretch back through to Christchurch. Still love that windmill. So, last day, and it's basically the complete opposite to the very first day, about nearly, at least 3 weeks ago now. I'd suggest 19th, when myself and Amy and the rest of the group left Christchurch to make Foxton the first night. Now obviously it's me and Sal, or just me and Sal. The rest of the guys have left their bikes up at north at this stage. Yeah, so I think Rhett and Nick are going to fly back later on in the month, pick up their bike and ride back. And the Biddles, sadly, are staying in the north. Probably the next time we will see them on their bikes will be the Brass Monkey. They reckon they're going to come down for that. Crazy buggers. Which means we'll be in for a cold trip down to Central Otago, middle of bloody winter, for the Brass Monkey. Awesome. Anyway, like I say, it's a gloomy old morning, a little bit of moisture in the air. We haven't bothered putting our wet weather gear on, in the hopes that it's not going to be much, but don't know. Wait and see. Well, we're nearing the ferry terminal, and it looks like we're heading straight into rain. So, anyway, if we're lucky we'll get onto the ferry before we get wet, but I don't like the look of it. Alright, it's hitting us already, bugger. I have been here, and we went across and had some breakfast somewhere. We got here early. We were waiting to get on. It may have, I don't know if it was Inter-Islander or Bluebridge now, but we pulled up and we're a bit early, and the guy said, oh, just shoot across the road. And there was a McDonald's straight across the road. And we went in there and had breakfast. Oh shit, I tell you what I will need is my phone out. Take my nice warm gloves off. Morning.
Can I have you got your booking reference number?
Yes, is that it there?
Oh, very good. 2156. Nigel and Sally. There.
Thank you. Hiya. Yes.
Just join the other motorbike.
Thank you. In the rain. Oh, there's a coffee shop right there, look. I'll have a mochaccino, thanks. I don't know, but make sure they're to go. I don't know, could be half an hour, I don't know, so. No, we're going to sit in there, out of the way. Righto, we've just been told to follow that van. Unfortunately, we were halfway through our coffees. We had to leave them behind. First on. Probably means last off. You'll be so careful on the steel landings in the wet. Into the bowels of the ferry. It was a bit drier. Cars are still rolling in. I can see a boat parked in the car park way down there. We were following him. I was wondering if he was heading to the ferry. So we got onto the ferry really early. So those guys, poor guys in the cars, are still waiting, and we're about to have brekkie. Awesome. These guys. Righto, we have made it to Picton. We've put our wet weather gear on. Although the forecast doesn't look that flash, I figured, well, if we put the wet weather gear on, that's a worry, my alarm going off. It'll probably mean it won't rain. Bang on 12:30. Way to go into Islander. The old boat's got a bit of a leak. It's leaking from the wrong end, or the right end. Hope it's not the plumbing, internal plumbing, if you know what I mean. Alrighty, here we are then, back in the South Island. Hee-hee. Sally in her bright yellow rain suit, won't be missed. Our truck driver giving us directions. Cheers, bruh. The old Yamaha R1 in front of us. Just definitely built for speed. Oh, this must be just a special exit for motorcyclists. We'll assume it's the shortest route. Chuckle, chuckle. Hope that R1 can keep up with me, doesn't slow me down. $95, $2.02. That's more like it. I think it was back in Whitford, out towards Beachlands. I paid $2.45 or $2.49 a litre for, well, admittedly it was probably 98 octane, but hey, I wasn't really interested in getting that high. That was the only high octane they had. I think that's the dearest petrol I've ever bought. Luckily, the motorbike doesn't take a hell of a lot, so it's not like a huge difference, huge amount in the tank. Right, so looking at the fuel that we've got, I'm not sure if I'll bother fueling up in Blenheim or not, really. Right, let's see what the computer tells me. The computer's telling me I've got 217 k's of range left in the tank, and yeah, it's quite a fair old distance. Well, we've just left Blenheim. We've fueled up in Blenheim. A bit of a trip hack or life hack. If you're following like hundreds of cars that have just come off the ferry, the same as you, and you need to fuel up, whoa. Yeah, I stopped at a MPD fuel station, and I think it's called Grovetown, which is just before Blenheim. It was empty, and yeah, so I figured, yeah, I'm stopping there, because if there's hundreds of cars in front of me, half of them will want to fuel up in Blenheim. And sure enough, when we got into Blenheim, there was a hell of a queue at the said station there. So yeah, just be mindful. Good old MPD, I think it's called Grovetown. Which is, yeah, a few k's before Blenheim when you leave the ferry. This is a great piece of road here for motorcycling. Curves and that are brilliant. Oh, the old Marlborough sticker's looking mighty brown. Whoa, he's dried off. Bloody hell. So like I was saying, we've fueled up basically at Blenheim, so we'll probably have to make another fuel stop before Christchurch. Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a stretch for the old Super Glide to make Christchurch in one tank from Blenheim. I think if we really had to do it, we could, but we don't, so we won't. We're back on the Kaikoura coastline. Not quite as sunny, as beautiful as normal, but we'll take it anyway. Glorious road, look at this. Haven't copped too much weather really. been pretty good so far. Touch wood, if I could. I just bumped the camera with my blimmin' hand, so I'm hoping it's at the right angle. Can't be bothered. Oh, saw that pothole and got it. Bullseye. That looks like the Aston Martin that was beside us on the ferry up ahead. Beautiful looking car, gotta say. There are some good people on the road. Admittedly, he probably didn't really need to give away. We were getting along at a fair old lick. Unfortunately, when people do that, it tends to make, well, you're basically talked into passing, and yeah, speeding when we're already doing, 100 odd k's an hour. But anyway, I'm not complaining. Lobster Cafe sounds like a good place to stop. Sadly, we've had lunch on the Blimmin' into Islander. Yeah, all the seal watchers. Look at them all down there. Pretty neat stuff they put on the retaining walls and bridges nowadays. Better than just looking at straight concrete. Bit of rusty old iron. Probably recycled Harley Davidsons. Well guys, we're back in Christchurch. Whoopee! Made pretty good time, 5:35, not too bad. Ended up having quite a few stops between here and Blenheim just to have rest, pit stop. Anyway, our 3-week holiday is nearing an end. It's been friggin' awesome. Obviously, me and Amy did the 3-day trip all the way to the sunny far north of New Zealand with Brett and Nick, Johnny and Michelle. Great trip and a blast. Then of course we had the most brilliant holiday. The weather's just been bloody fantastic up there, and so we got a fair bit of fishing, diving, and socialising up there. Of course now me and Sally have just finished a 4-day tour back down the country to home to Christchurch. So yeah, been a brilliant holiday and awesome trips on the bike, that's for sure. Got a couple of rides in while we're up in the north. One out to the Hokianga Harbour and Marpuri for lunch, and one up to Cape Reinga. Unfortunately, that's the one I'm limited in my camera with. But anyway, that's the way it goes. So I guess I'll sign off here and get into some editing at some stage. Man, I've got some footage. So I'll just have to edit and go through it and see if we can get some YouTube vids out. Righto guys, take care. We'll see you soon. Here we are. Home sweet home. Woohoo! 3,499.9 Ks later. Let's call it 3,500 Ks. Wicked. We made it.